Our top story today from the GatewayPundit.com. Joe, you're fired. Trump revokes Biden's national security clearance and then stops his intelligence briefings. We're talking about this story and so much more here on the Gateway Pundit's Week in Review. My name is Elijah Schaffer, and this is the Gateway Pundit's Week in Review, where we cover the top 5 stories of the last 24 hours. Our top story today is quite interesting, as Kristen Taylor reports, Joe, you're fired, or you're fired, Joe. Trump revokes Biden's national security clearance. Check this out. It looks like revenge never tasted better. Listen to our top story here, published just this afternoon. President Donald Trump announced Friday evening that he has revoked Joe Biden's national security clearance and is stopping his courtesy presidential daily intelligence briefings. Now, why did Trump do this? Well, he cited Biden's precedent of doing the same thing to him in 2021. I guess when you roll a stone, it rolls back on you, or in this case, you violate federal historical mandates, they violate you back. It's like a reversal Me Too movement, but it's like Me 1776, you know what I'm saying? As well as a report by special counsel Robert Hur on Biden's poor memory and his investigation about Biden's stealing and mishandling classified documents as reasons for his action. Now, if you guys don't remember, Joe Biden actually stored classified documents in boxes in his unlocked garage. And when they asked him, how did you get away with that? Or why did you not get raided? Because Mar-a-Lago was raided by the FBI because Trump had classified documents in a closet, right? I mean, I haven't heard about someone being in a closet since I've heard of Lindsey Graham, right, speak on TV recently. But on top of that, it's kind of strange because he didn't get raided. And then Trump goes, look, if you're going to take away my precedent, if you don't want me to have intelligence briefings, if you don't want me to have access to these things, then you're not going to have them either. I guess it doesn't hurt because Joe Biden has been dead since 2022. They just put strings on him and have been walking around like a puppet. But we'll get back to more on that in a second. But before we talk about that, listen, are you a homeowner or do you know someone who is? Because I have some insane news for you you're not going to want to miss. Just like U.S. aid and Biden were stealing billions of dollars from the American people, thieves have found a new way that they can actually steal your equity. Now, Americans have over $32 trillion in equity, but cyber criminals are targeting it with a growing scam that the FBI calls house stealing. Now, house alarms, doorbell cameras, and deadbolts, those will not work against this type of crime. If you're in South Africa, it might stop an intruder, but this is even worse. Before you know it, these scammers might actually transfer the title of your home into their name using just a one-page document. This is how easy it is that they file at the county. You're wondering, why am I telling you about this? It's that easy that it could happen to you tomorrow. I didn't even think people were having this happen to them. I find out this is happening thousands of times a year in the U.S. Essentially, you come home and you get evicted because somebody already did fraud on your mortgage. It's one thing to lose a credit card. What about losing your home? What would happen to your wife? What would happen to your family? What's going to happen to your pets? You ever thought about that? Well, the scariest part is you won't even find out until the foreclosure notices start arriving in your mailbox. But then by then, the damage has already been done. The best way to protect your equity is with triple lock protection from my friends at Home Title Lock. The triple lock protection is 24/7 monitoring, alerts of any changes, and God forbid, if the worst happens, restoration services at no out-of-pocket cost to you. So when was the last time you checked on your title? If you're like me and the answer was never, that's exactly what scammers are counting on. So if you want to protect your home title and have peace of mind on your family's biggest investment, go to HometitleLock.com/gatewaypundit, HometitleLock.com/GATEWAYPUNDIT. Use promo code Elijah on the screen and in the description for 30-day free trial. Again, HometitleLock.com/gatewaypundit. Use promo code Elijah. Now, as I mentioned about Joe being fired, listen to this. Just in, Trump dismantles Biden's gun control actions, signs an executive order to protect gun owners. Christina Lila has the emerging report. Now, President Trump on Friday signed an executive order dismantling Joe Biden's gun control actions. The Second Amendment is an indispensable safeguard of security and liberty. It has preserved the right of the American people to, number one, protect ourselves, our families, and our freedoms since the founding of our great nation. Because it is a foundational thing to maintaining all other rights held by Americans, the right to keep and bear arms must not be what? Right, infringed. President Trump's executive order said clearly and directly, something that we didn't have the liberty or the luxury of experiencing the last 4 years. I will say, though, I've been waiting to find out what drugs Biden was on because I'm still trying to get some of those. That guy was relaxed, right? He was like, Well, I honestly, I've tried Xanax and some stuff before medically, of course, but man, that guy was on a cocktail of uppers and downers. It felt like maybe I'd be back in my party days in college. Now, Trump ordered U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi to review all of Joe Biden's unconstitutional gun control executive orders to assess ongoing infringements of the Second Amendment. And quote, within 30 days of the date of this order, the Attorney General shall examine all orders, regulations, guidance, plans, international agreements, and other actions of executive departments and agencies to assess any ongoing infringements of the Second Amendment rights of our citizens and present a proposed plan of action to the President through the Domestic Policy Advisor and to protect the Second Amendment rights of all Americans, Trump's EO said. Now, Pam Bondi will review all presidential and agency actions from January 2021 through January of 2025 that purport to promote safety but may have infringed on the Second Amendment rights of law-abiding citizens. Now, Biden waged a war on the Second Amendment during his first 4 years in office. In April of 2021, Biden signed 6 executive actions. The Justice Department, within 30 days, will issue a proposed rule to help stop the proliferation of ghost guns. The Justice Department, within 60 days, will issue a proposed rule to make clear when a device marketed as a stabilized brace effectively turns a pistol into a short-barreled rifle. The Justice Department, within 60 days, will publish model red flag legislation for states. Red flag laws allow innocent civilians like you and me to be put on a list thanks to snarky libs, or libtards as we call them, in your family reporting you. You've all got libtards in your family, right? I mean, am I the only one? Pretty sure I'm not the only one. I'm not going to say anything else. I'm not going to talk smack on my family, but I'm from LA, and a lot of people that I know they're retarded. That's just true. Now, the administration is investing in evidence-based community violence interventions, and the Justice Department will issue an annual report on firearms trafficking. Lastly, the president will nominate David Chipman to serve as director of the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms. Now, I want to remind you that Chipman didn't even know. I don't think he knew what ammunition went into a rifle. I might be wrong, but imagine, look, you ought to know about alcohol, tobacco, and firearms, but in the right way, right? I mean, I know a lot about alcohol and tobacco and firearms, but not enough to serve as the director of the ATF. How about actually, in memory of Waco and the lives that were lost that day, or Ruby Ridge, how about we abolish the ATF? How about that? Hands off my guns and my alcohol. Now, that being said, Biden, of course, was on record saying that if he had gotten reelected, he would want to ban assault weapons. Listen to this.
To pass universal background checks. Eliminate gun manufacturers' immunity from liability. And I'm determined, once again, to ban assault weapons and high-capacity magazines.
I ban assault weapons and high-capacity magazines. Ever heard of Playboy? That was a high-capacity magazine, right? If I'm just saying. They don't make those anymore. But no, he's talking high-capacity magazines. You know, I feel like Democrat policies are a lot like dating women. No offense to women. I love women. But, you know, the goalposts just change sometimes, and they just give you standards that sometimes change, right? But they have high standards. And I feel like the Dems have those standards with guns, right? They're always moving the goalposts a little bit. It's like a little tricky rigmarole. And most importantly, when it comes to this high capacity, what is that, 6, 9, 15, 20, 30 mag, 60 mag, 90, right? When you say high capacity, you could change the definition of what a capacity means at a high volume. And so that allows for a moving or a yellow lining, and not even a red lining, but a yellow lining, so you can switch back and forth the definition of what capacity means, and it leads to a lot of internal abuse. Additionally, President Trump fires head of National Archives. This is quite a strange move in the staffing of the Trump administration. A Biden holdover who oversees agency that targeted Trump for storing classified documents at Mar-a-Lago. Christina Lila reports. President Donald Trump fired Colleen Joy Shogan, the head of the National Archives and Record Administration known as NARA. This is the same agency that targeted Trump over the so-called classified documents lawfully stored at Mar-a-Lago. At the direction of President Trump, the archivist of the United States has been dismissed tonight. We thank Colleen Shogan for her service, Sergio Gore, director of the Presidential Personnel Office, said on Friday evening. At the direction of Donald Trump, the active archivist said the United States has been dismissed tonight. We thank Colleen. And that's it. I don't want to talk about that story anymore. It's just wasted my time. Like, I don't care. She got fired. Okay, boo. Go drink a bottle of scotch and go cry yourself a river. Now, obviously, like me, you must know this. Nobody likes getting older, right? Look at this. I'm getting old, man. I have 2 kids. And I went to Vegas and I got food poisoning and didn't even get to enjoy Vegas. That's called getting old. Now, my muscles feel weak right now. You know, you got to go to the gym. Nothing will take place of that. But you know what I'm talking about? When you start feeling like your muscles feel weaker, you don't enjoy your activities, traveling becomes a pain. What if I could tell you that you could actually get stronger with age and reverse some of that? Now, celebrity fitness trainer Tony Horton at 66 claims that he's found a simple method that takes just 1 to 2 minutes a day, allowing people to feel stronger and healthier in a short time. Now, age-related muscle loss, which starts between 40 to 50, is natural, but it can hinder daily tasks. People lose about 0.5 to 1% of muscle mass annually, contributing to increased frailty and vulnerability to falls that cause falls among the elderly. Horton, known for training stars like Bruce Springsteen, says approach can combat this muscle loss and build new muscle. He says you can do this right now by sharing this video to help others. Check out this video if you want to get your muscle strength back. Individual results may vary, but you can learn more by visiting tonyprotein.com/pundit. That's TonyProtein.com/PUNDIT. That's tonyprotein.com/pundit. Make sure that you check it out today and get your video that's going to teach you how to fight the aging and muscle loss. Now, obviously, we're going to be talking about Representative Harriet. It's like Hageman is such a weird name. It says there's a whole variety of ways to cut the Department of Education. As Mike LaChance reports, listen to this. When it comes to cutting the Department of Education, President Trump has an ally in conservative Republican Harriet Hageman of Wyoming. Hageman was recently interviewed by Breitbart News and was asked how Trump can achieve his goal of closing the agency down. She suggested the Republicans have options on this. We have the full video here for you in a moment. I'm going to play it. But as we talk about, what she's able to say, I can tell you this. She definitely has an opinion. It is just audio, but listen.
So and this is my last time I'll mention Liz Cheney, but if Liz Cheney was a globalist, what are you?
I'm an American first a congresswoman who believes that if you have a strong America, the world is a safe place. If you have a weak America, the world becomes a very dangerous place. We have moral authority based upon our constitutional foundation, our freedoms, what we believe our Judeo-Christian founding, the fact that there is a right and wrong, there is truth and untruth, and that is what you always have to come back to. And America has excelled, and we have succeeded, and we have prospered because of that foundation. And when we are then funding our own demise through programs and through sending money to foreign governments who hate us, eventually that is not going to be able to survive.
What bills? So we're loving Doge. Trump's been crushing it. What's Congress up to? What's the next thing we're going to pass here in Congress?
Oh, well, we're working through the reconciliation, and I think some people are getting frustrated and saying, when are we going to get this on the table? But I've been working with a variety of subgroups that are looking at the priorities in that particular process. Okay. And I think that things are gelling. I think things are coming together. We definitely need to cut spending. We have got to use this mechanism to cut spending and to cut programs and to take power away from the bureaucrats in the way that they waste and spend our money. And I think that through the various leaders in the committees, as well as the leadership that we have, I think we're putting together a package that is going to be very good for America. As far as my own work, I've really been focusing on something that I think is probably very important to you guys, and that's the First Amendment Restoration Act. And that would get at some of the weaponization that the federal government has been engaging in against primarily conservative thought.
Well, as she mentions, right, there's many different opportunities, ways that we can dissolve the Department of Education. I don't think people understand. Okay, so I have a bit of a strong opinion on public education. I actually disagree with public education. Our founding fathers didn't want there to be public education, and I think our IQs in our nation and our individual concept of liberty was much higher when we did have, local schools, or we had, community-funded, shire-funded schools. But this universal education was always meant to linearize individuals into becoming sort of drones of the state. This has always been, this anti-federalist move, or this striking feature to take the intuition and intellect out of the individual. A lot of what you see, and people go, whoa, so you're against education? In many ways, no. I just don't think school equals education. And I don't believe that people are taught very well today. And I think that when there is an institutional top-down control of schooling, it declines exponentially to what we see today. And so I don't think there's a need for the Department of Education. I think that money can go back to the states. And I think states should really let off of individuals. Like how in New York, they want to make that your kids have to be vaccinated, even if you're homeschooling them. And if you don't prove that you're vaccinating your kids, then they can open up a CPS report on you as a parent, because they so badly want to control, right? The education system, why do you have to be vaccinated to go to school? Why does a 9-year-old have to get vaccinated against a sexually transmitted disease that only comes through sharing needles or like anal sex? I'm talking about hepatitis B. Why does a 9-year-old need that to go to school? It's a good question, right? A lot of this is about power control, molding, and melding people into being uniform. But I was homeschooled. I was taught to think outside the box. I enjoyed my education. I mean, I excelled in university despite being homeschooled. I thought university was easy, right? I got a full ride scholarship. It was great, and picked a hard degree. I've never seen anything wrong with it. My wife was homeschooled. We're going to be homeschooling our children. I'm just very much against public education. About a fourth of Americans are too. I think we're one of the only countries in the world where like about a third to a fourth of us homeschool. We don't believe in public education. So I think that's going up. I think now it's like I think it was reading it's like 41% of American adults don't believe in the public education system anymore. So that's pretty cool. And there's no other country, right? Because I've lived in Australia off and on the last 7 years, and it's like they don't let you homeschool there, really. You can, but not really. All right. Lastly, California woman is jailed after ripping U.S. flag, raising Mexican flag, declaring this is Mexican land. Adios, amiga. We're going to play the video for you here. This is the kind of stuff that makes people racist. So, that's just the truth. Check this out.
On February 6, 2025, at approximately 9:36 a.m., Kern County Sheriff's Office park rangers responded to Hart Park after receiving multiple reports of a subject attempting to steal the American flag from the park's entrance. Upon arrival, park rangers discovered a vehicle stuck in the muddy grass next to the flagpole. Park rangers determined that 24-year-old Crystal Aguilar had cut the chain securing the flagpole, removed the American flag, and thrown it into the mud before raising the national flag of Mexico in its place. When park rangers attempted to detain Aguilar, she physically resisted and made multiple verbal threats against them. Aguilar was taken into custody and booked on charges of PC 69, threatening a police officer, PC 594, vandalism, PC 148, resisting arrest, vehicle code 21113A, trespassing in a vehicle, and violation of a county ordinance for possession of marijuana in a park. The following is footage of a department-issued body-worn camera of a park ranger on scene. Please note the body-worn camera does not capture everything the park ranger sees, and the park ranger does not see everything the body-worn camera captures. Viewer discretion is advised.
No. Do it now. You're not going to tell me what to do. This is Mexican land, motherfucker.
No, okay.
Look at that flag, because that flag isn't on the floor, is it?
Hey.
Is it?
Hey.
You can't say I'm disrespecting. No, esta es mi tierra. Esta es mi tierra. Esta es mi tierra.
Come here.
Okay, my people kill you.
Turn around.
I'm going in peace and you're hurting me and you're going to regret it when you... Okay.
Hey.
Touch me, motherfucker, and when your kids die. When your kids die. You're squishing my hand and they already know. You don't need to go. Take me.
Stop her.
Take me. Take me. Take me.
Take her down.
Take me, motherfucker. I'm Mexican.
She's all right. We'll get her.
You're a domestic motherfucker. And you're going to pay. My dad is going to kill you and all your family. You think it's a joke until it's not. You're hurting my hand and I already told my dad.
Okay, cool. Hey.
You think it's a joke.
Hey, relax.
You're going to set me free.
Relax.
No. I said you want. Turn off my car. Turn off my car.
Don't
this
tell
is my
me
land.
what to do. Get the fuck up.
Then get the fuck out of my land. That's Mexican land. That's Mexican land.
Yeah.
You want to put me in my... Oh, okay. I'm going to let my father kill you. I'm going to let my father kill you.
Alrighty. That being said, she did sort of overstay her welcome. Most importantly, please don't raise another country's flags inside of another country and demand that they respect you. Deport. That's all I got to say about that. But anyway, I believe in, I even want to deport the children of illegals. I don't believe in birthright citizenship, okay? I just don't believe in that. I think one of your parents needs to be a citizen of the country to have citizenship. I don't think if I'm born in Japan, I deserve the right to have Japanese citizenship. That's dumb, right? And also, there is an American people. We are an ethnicity. Like the difference between Australians and Canadians and the British do believe themselves to be a people, but the other colonies from the United Kingdom, they don't really have any like strong central identity. So they've lost it where they don't think they're an ethnicity. So they think like an Indian can come over and become Canadian. And it's not really true per se. Like you can become a Canadian citizen, but there is like a people that like were Canadian, you know, like they come from, these other countries. Where there's like French Canadians. There's even a definition, or there's like French Canadian. And then there's the other Canadians, which maybe are the real ones. Who knows who's the real Canadian? In Australia too, right? They have like the Anglo-Celtic and then anyone else, right? The Greeks and stuff, they call them wogs, right? These are like, they're not really fully Australian. And in America, we have the American ethnicity too, right? These are like the Germanic, Anglo-Celtic. And then we sort of changed our laws and then we, brought in citizenship and we gave a lot of other people rights. But like, I just think that this idea of like, okay, so we agreed that we needed to graft in the African Americans, right? And now make them American. We agreed to draft people in. But if you came here illegally and then your kid's born here, how are you an American? That doesn't make you an American. Like, oh, you just gave birth on soil, so you're one of us? I don't think so. So I know Trump's trying to reverse that too, the birthright citizenship. Like you can't be born to illegals because it's like at the very least, your parents have to be like, got to be somewhat generations deep here, right? You can't just like let anyone become an American. Because that's been our whole problem in our Western countries is we lost who we are. And our identity is destiny. Remember, demographics are destiny. That's I think it's a famous Breitbart quote. So we'll leave it to that. Anyway, have a great rest of the week. As always, if you want to join our mug club, you can sign up at thegatewaypundit.com. Get one of these mugs. I hate calling them girthy, but I've been calling them that because they got a wide rim. That's what she said. But also, they have the nice embossed logo. They're weighty. They feel good in the hand. It'll be great for your tea. So when you join the Gateway Pundit Mug Club, you get to support the network while also supporting yourself. Have a great rest of the week, as always. Please don't forget to follow me on X. And may God bless the United States of America. I'm signing out.